Assalamu alaikum beautiful people and welcome to 100 competitive games of BTD Battles 2. I have decided to play 100 games and recorded them so you don't have to. Currently I am in yellow camp and by the end of the video we will see how much I have progressed or how much I have completely at the game. My goal is to end each game as soon as possible and my strategy will change every 10 games. So strategy I will be using for game 1 to 10 is going to consist of bomb shooter, striker Jones, glue and village. Did you know that lots of you watching are not subscribed? Sit back, relax, get some snacks, show me some love and let's get into the madness that is 100 games of competitive BTD Battles 2. Game 1 was on the map Oasis and my opponent's hero was Quancy, the son of unknown. I started with my bomb on the intersection while my opponent started with Quancy. For some reason he decided not to eco. Okay. He decided to use Ninja as his second tower while I got my striker Jones down. I went for my cluster while his monkeys threw sharp objects as helium-filled balloons. I bought sulfur to destroy the environment along with the balloons. Somehow, white-colored balloons faced him to get counterfeit Naruto from Wish.com and a monkey boost. If only he had used honey to do so, he would have saved 69% on the cost of Naruto from Wish.com. While I got my straw hat from with intelligence borrowed from American intelligence, he went for a monkey with a degree from Tsinghua University. I'm probably completely butchering the name. On round 9, he tried to kill me with some heart-shaped striped balloons, but my sulfur and explosion were too much for the poor multicolored rubber. I sent him some Bloons made out of steel, which absolutely make no sense at all. I mean, what? That made him summon Monkey Potter along with the tower boost and I managed to get a few lives off of him. I upgraded my sulfur and straw hat and got some anti-blimp defensive measures, more types of silvers, missiles and a discount market later I sent a big black balloon and won my first game of the video. From here on onwards I will not bore you with too many details on each match, so let's go on a speed spree.
The opponent was using Quincy, the son of the unknown, a monkey that throws a lot of random things, Naruto from Wish.com and a shoe nail manufacturing plant. Killed him with some yellows, blimps and ceramics.
The game took forever to load and my connection to the New Zealand army was lost.
In Game 4, my opponent started with the Fire Force captain. His second tower was the monkey with the minigun, accompanied by a monkey with an ego bigger than Mount Everest. However, I sent too many blimps for the egotistical monkey to handle and beat him.
Even though my opponent bought a T-34 tank in Game 5, he managed to lose because he didn't know how to use the weapons mounted on his tank.
In Game 6, while my opponent used Tech Shooter, Horse, Budget Harry Potter, and Pansy, I used sulfur and explosives to defend. We both rushed each other, but I managed to win with a big green blonde.
In Game 7, defeated a Quincy fan with a bunch of stealthy high-carbon steel Bloons. Also got promoted to the White Wastelands.
Got my Game 8 victory with some zebras, but unfortunately lost the footage. The 9th game never happened because I was unable to connect to the New Zealand servers. After all, somehow they run on technology from Egyptian era, but went against my first farm user opponent in game 10. However, even with his missile firing miniguns, he was no match against my explosions and sulfur. Yeah. One with the help of a big black pointy blonde. Wait, that's just a pimple. Ew! Now for game 11 to 20, I had to change my strategy. So I decided to go with Dartling Farm and I with an average undergraduate named Ben. Also in game 11, lost footage and also lost the game pretty badly. Honestly, played like the worst player in the game. Ended up losing to some rainbow vomit all over my screen.
After a game filled with farms, almost losing and even more farms, my opponent disconnected because either he thought either I was a bot or due to bad services on the side of the birds.
Got the worst possible farming map and tried my best, but lost in the end to some ceramics fortified with gorilla grass victors. Now game 15 was a fun one. Sent my opponent so much stuff. he, she, it, they, or whatever my opponent were. I don't want any social media Karens coming after me. In the end, made them surrender to some giant green blimps. Lost the game to some black blondes because my mind was out grazing some fresh grass, I guess. My opponent stood no chance against the economy of illegal goods I built during the battlefield in Game 17. Won the game handily. Sent a green blimp with new fashion to finish my opponent in Game 18. Lost Game 19 due to my own incompetency. Oh my god, that's a hard word to say.
Game 20 was the final nail in the coffin of this strategy. Not because it's bad, but because I'm just terrible with the farming stuff and aiming my miniguns even though they're being controlled by a monkey. Also, never managed to connect to the server. Yeah.
Game 21 decided to change my strategy and go with my most favorite strategy of all time. Attack Ice Village with the fire hazard. Killed my opponent with some Bloons made out of hard carbon steel which his miniguns could not penetrate through. In Game 22, while my opponent chose the life of black magic, resurrection of the dead, and explosives, I used advanced machinery and ice cubes and fire. Won the game on round 20. My opponent tried his best to improve his miniguns with hacking, but I managed to take him down. It took me a lot, but I did it. Even though the game 24 was very laggy, because the damn Kiwis forgot to properly manage their servers. I somehow managed to squeak a victory out and got promoted to Lead Dungeon. Never got an opponent game 25. Due to my incredible skill as a programmer, the opponent surrendered, fearing my skills, my wrath, and my anger. I am pretty sure my game 27 was against some kind of AI, as the things it did were beyond incomprehensible for my mind. Amidst the confusion, I lost to some shiny white blondes. Game 20 was so incredibly laggy, I literally could not do anything. Was barely able to send echo, ended up dying to one mole of a blonde. Killed my opponent pretty quickly in game 29 as I have absolutely no clue what he was doing with his stuff. Even though my opponent brought air support against me and had the American army with help from Hogwarts students, I managed to defeat him by pure perseverance and Bloons! Game 31 was a change of strategy, so I decided to go with boat, ice and village with Obin as my hero. While I went for a life of greed and boat farms, almost dying in the process, he hired counterfeit Narutos from Wish.com with unlimited access to sticky explosions. Yet I won with rainbow bar all over the screen.
In game 32, I decided to fill the docks with an army of traders trading illegal arms. On the other hand, my opponent bought the illegal arms I was trading. The game was super intense but got extremely laggy. Almost killed the unancient servers of New Zealand army. In the end, crashed my game.
Easily won against a Darkling farm player game 33. He never stood a chance against me. In game 34 went against a druid sub farm player, but he died to natural blondes. I mean, I didn't even do anything. Killed a player who brought minigun breeding monkeys, illegal banana trades, and a shunel manufacturing plants with the help of some high carbon steel blondes.
Even though my opponent had the weapons advantage of having minigun, wielding monkeys, counterfeit Narutos with the ability of electronic warfare and unlimited access to explosions, I had the monkey advantage and ended up winning the match and got a promotion to the ceramic crucible.
Was very efficient with my boss placements. Even though my opponent brought infantry against me, but I found a small weakness, exploited it and won game 37.
In game 38, my opponent brought feathers, arrows, illegal substances, and shoe nail to a blonde fight, but I managed to win with the help of the money made by my illegal drug deals in the sea.
Got one of the worst boat maps in game 39. Lost the game to some pink blonde. Lost game 40 to a Chinese guy. I'm pretty sure he was a hacker.
It was the time once again. Went with Cannon, Farm, Village, and the General Jones. Lost the game due to my own incompetency. Forgot I had to get defenses against natural blondes. I instantly knew that I had to get good in order to make this strategy work.
For a moment there, my brain completely turned off and I forgot how to play Game 42. When my brain switched back on, it was too late and I had lost the game. Game 43 was full of illegal banana trades, a lot of cannons, and a whole lot of little seconds. In the end game, I forgot that I did not have tier 5 AK, the big cannon unlocked, and that's why I died to DDT. I had unlocked my T5 bomb, Game 44, went head to against the Druids of Farm player, defeated him pretty quickly. Had to go against British Aussie collaboration of world domination in Game 45. Unfortunately, failed to stop their forces since my cannons were no match to their army of kangaroos. Faced Game 46 against an opponent who brought black magic and long range warfare. Won the game with the TKO. In Game 47, my opponent brought an army of random students from Hogwarts. However, I managed to prove that explosives are superior to magic. It was an easy victory. While I exploded Bloons in Game 48, my opponent used performance-enhancing drugs and cocaine on his counterfeit Naruto Modern Warfare. He managed to win with the power of his drugs. Lost Game 49 to one more drug dealer. I think Ninja Kiwi should ban drugs from Bloons Warfare. Also, lost the carting. Lost Game 50 due to an IRL distraction. It was once again time to change my strategy. I used an online randomizer to choose my towers, got the combination of sniper, gatling tag accompanied by General Jones. Had no clue what to do with that, tried to be a smart player but ended up losing the game pretty badly. It was time to learn from previous game and apply that knowledge in Game 52 even though I learned nothing at all. Even after learning so much from my past life, I ended up losing the game to a little Saturn selling bananas. Won Game 53 against the Happy Grandma, which is a sentence I never thought I would say. Even though she had hired the help of wizards, I won easily. I started to get the hang of the strategy. I think in Game 54, Sniper farmed hard since I was against the final boss of Australia. Won even though my opponent hired technical assistance from a technically advanced monkey. For some reason, my brain was malfunctioning in Game 55. Lost the game to Crocodile Dundee. Lost Game 56 in the most embarrassing way possible. I don't want to talk about it. Game 57 was an easy victory as my opponent was all over the place. I have no idea what was going on in his mind, but hey, that got me to an easy victory. Game 58 was another loss in my history of losses. It was an easy victory waiting for me in Game 59. Game 60 was a final game with this unique combination of a loadout. It was a brutal loss since there was no synergy in this loadout at all. Decided to give Ninja Farm and Dartling a go Game 61. It was going to be with me for the next 10 games. Lost the game because I am an idiot who does not know what to do and how to do. It was time to learn this strategy. Came back from the training camp without learning a single thing and was now ready to take on the entire world. Lost the game immediately. Game 63 was an easy victory. My opponent believed in breaking back the dead, but I proved for once and for all that my rocket shooting minigun was superior in every shape, way and form. All I have to say about Game 64 is that I lost to a shoe nail manufacturing plant. Game 65 was a victory against the British invasion. How do I take that back? Game crashed. Yay!
Lost Game 67 as well, which further affected my love-hate relationship with the darting gunner.
Took Game 68 late. It was a long and laggy endeavor. My opponent ended up defending everything I sent him. I think he was the best player in the world. Jesus beat me Game 69. Coincident? I think not. Lost the Game 70 because my minigun monkey flipped me off and decided to not work for some reason. Time had once again come, decided to go with Pack Farm Wizard with Oban since I had not unlocked easily yet. Lost the game to a kid who thought drugs are good. I guess that tells how much I had progressed in 71 games. I was getting used to the strategy Game 72. However, needed more time to learn it properly and lost the game. Also got demoted. The only thing I have to say is that it was an easy victory. Was a second too slow to respond. Lost the game badly. Only thing I would say, easy victory. Man, I still suck. It was a long and tiring game, but with the help of perseverance, the illegal selling of bananas, and Gandalf and his followers won the game. This game was another quick victory. I guess I was getting better. Fought against druids on the most spiral map in the game. Won handily. Got disconnected due to bad internet. Had no clue what my opponent was doing. Won the game even though he had a little Saturn helping him.
In the game 81, decided to go with the slowest strategy of all time, Ice Ninja glue with Obane. Start was a bit difficult, lost a few lives but managed to survive with the help of sulfur and some ice cubes. My opponent had rocket-firing miniguns and Superman from the Monkeyverse, but he lost to a strong blimp.
Just because I got the green stuff instead of the yellow stuff, it cost me the game. However, I was learning how to use the strategy properly. Played the game embarrassingly bad. I mean, I have played 82 constant games before. For some reason, my glue monkey sucked ass. Lost to some region zebra Bloons because my sulfur gave up on me. Why was this strategy so bad? It still sucked ass. Like seriously, why? Lost game 86 due to a distraction. It was just sad. It was time for redemption, but alas, it was another loss. Why was everyone freaking distracting me all of a sudden? Why?
It took me many tries, many defeats, and many heartbreaks, but all of that sufferings was not in vain as I finally managed to win a game with this strategy. It was finally my time for this comeback of the century.
I was finally getting a teeny bit better with this strategy, though I have no clue what my opponent was doing all the game. Anywho, it was an easy victory. It was the final game with this strategy. Top the whole saga of this strategy with a final win. It was not only time to change my strategy but also unveil my own strategy, which I would be calling Supra strategy. This strategy consists of sniper, glue and ninja monkey with the hero of your choice. I chose Obdon because I only had him buffed by ninja monkeys. Got the best man for this strategy on the very first try. Started the game with the double shot ninja. While my opponent was placing towers all over the place, I hired a sniper which I would eventually turn into elite sniper. The game was pretty uneventful mostly. I got more and more sniper farms as my RTO. However, my opponent lost to a fortified BFB. Even though my opponent sold illegal goods on the battlefield and brought back the dead, I was the winner. Game 93 was so much fun. Both I and my opponent kept aggro on each other. There were many close calls, but eventually I managed to squeak out a victory. This goes to show the strength of my strategy. Now game 94 was another fun one. Definitely over recorded a little bit, which caused my sniper farms to be a bit slow. It was a fun one, but unfortunately ended up losing the game to a BAD all out. Now if it was Ryan Mahalek or some other good player, he would have definitely defended since the strategy is so good. Game 95 was another loss, but I was trying to learn the ins and outs of the strategy. Even though I created this strategy, does not mean that I had perfected it. Game 96 was a victory. New thing I learned was that the early game defense with this strategy is pretty expensive. The final game was coming near and near, so I had to bring my A game up, which considering my skill was not a big statement. Lost the game pretty badly, don't wanna talk about it. Won game 98 against an anti-dotting user, even though he bought the most high-tech machinery available against me. Yay! Sulfur supremacy. Lost game 99 because my sniper gave up on me. It was just sad. Pure sadness as my counterfeit Naruto from Wish.com just stood there and watched those camo region lads pass by. Until now, it has been a roller coaster of emotions. Some wins, but many losses to get to this point. Tried many colorful strategies, some meta, some good and some very bad. Even created my own tower combination that I thought would do good, but in the end I turned out to be the bad end. Even though I tried my best to learn, but I guess it was not good enough. I don't know how many of you will be watching to this point or if any one of you will be watching at all. But hey, I tried my best but did not manage to end the video on a high note. Will I keep playing? Yes. Will I perfect my strategy? Also yes. And with that, a goodbye to all of you. Hope you show me some love and bye bye.